Today's sad news of Emmerdale. Horror strikes as Sarah and Jacob face a nightmare that changes everything. Tonight's Emmerdale delivers one of its darkest, most heartbreaking chapters in recent memory, leaving fans shaken and emotional as a horrifying ordeal engulfs Sarah Sugden and Jacob Gallagher. What begins as a seemingly ordinary day in the village spirals into terror, trauma, and devastating consequences that will echo through the dales for weeks to come. This is not just another dramatic twist. This is Emmerdale at its most haunting. A calm before the storm. For a brief moment, life appears almost peaceful for Sarah and Jacob. Sarah, still battling the weight of her fragile health and the emotional scars of her past, dares to imagine a future where fear no longer dictates her every step. Jacob, juggling his ambitions and complicated emotions, is determined to prove he can be strong, not just for himself, but for the people he loves. There is laughter. There is hope. And there is a sense, however fragile, that things might finally be turning around. But Emmerdale fans know all too well. Happiness in the village never lasts long. Horror creeps in. The shift is subtle at first, an uneasy silence, a strange look, a feeling that something isn't right. Then, without warning, horror crashes down on Sarah and Jacob with brutal force. A terrifying incident unfolds, one that leaves them trapped in a situation far more dangerous than either could have imagined. Panic sets in. Time stretches unbearably as fear takes hold. The sense of helplessness is suffocating, and the reality dawns that this is not a situation they can simply walk away from. For Sarah, already vulnerable, the terror is overwhelming. Her breathing falters, her strength drains, and the fear isn't just emotional, it's physical. Every second feels like a battle for survival. Jacob, faced with the unthinkable, is forced into a role he never expected. Protector, decision-maker, and witness to something that will haunt him long after the immediate danger passes. Sarah's breaking point. As the horror escalates, Sarah reaches a devastating breaking point. The trauma triggers her deepest fears, reminding her how fragile her life truly is. Viewers watch in anguish as she struggles, not just against the threat in front of her, but against her own body betraying her at the worst possible moment. Her terror is raw, real, and painfully relatable. This isn't just about fear of harm, it's the fear of not surviving, of losing everything she has fought so hard to hold on to. The scenes are harrowing, and the emotional weight is crushing. Jacob's guilt begins. Jacob manages to keep going, to push through the chaos, but the damage is already done. Even as the immediate danger subsides, the horror doesn't end. It simply changes shape. Jacob is left drowning in guilt. He replays every moment in his mind, questioning every decision. Could he have acted sooner? Could he have protected Sarah better? Should he have seen the danger coming? The bravado he once clung to crumbles, replaced by a quiet, devastating self-blame that threatens to consume him. The aftermath, trauma that won't fade. When the dust finally settles, Sarah and Jacob are physically safe, but emotionally shattered. Sarah is left traumatized, withdrawn, and struggling to process what she has been through. Nightmares plague her sleep. Sudden noises send her into panic. The world no longer feels safe, and the future she briefly dared to imagine feels further away than ever. Jacob, meanwhile, puts on a brave face, insisting he's fine. But those closest to him can see the cracks forming. He becomes distant, irritable, and emotionally closed off, classic signs of someone refusing to face their pain. The horror may be over, but its grip on them is relentless. The village reacts. News of what happened spreads quickly through the dales, sending shockwaves through the community. Loved ones rally around Sarah and Jacob, desperate to help, but unsure how. Some offer comfort. Others ask questions that reopen wounds. And a few unknowingly say all the wrong things. The tragedy forces the village to confront uncomfortable truths about safety, vulnerability, and how quickly life can change. Relationships on the brink. The trauma doesn't just affect Sarah and Jacob individually. It threatens to tear apart the relationships around them. Sarah struggles to let anyone in, even those she trusts most. Her walls go up, and her silence becomes a source of worry and frustration for her family. Jacob, meanwhile, lashes out at the people trying to help him, pushing them away before they can see how broken he truly feels. His guilt becomes a barrier, isolating him at the exact moment he needs support the most. Fans are left wondering, will this ordeal bring them closer together or drive them irreparably apart? Why this story hits so hard? What makes this Emmerdale storyline especially devastating is its realism. The horror isn't exaggerated or fantastical, it's frighteningly plausible. The emotional aftermath is portrayed with raw honesty, shining a spotlight on trauma, survivor's guilt, and the long road to healing. Sarah and Jacob's suffering feels painfully real, and viewers can't help but be drawn into their pain. Social media has already erupted with emotional reactions, with fans praising the performances while admitting the episodes are almost too hard to watch. What happens next? As Emmerdale moves forward, one thing is clear: Sarah and Jacob will never be the same. Will Sarah find the strength to confront her trauma, or will fear continue to rule her life? Can Jacob face his guilt before it destroys him from the inside out? And will the village truly be able to protect its own? Or is this just the beginning of an even darker chapter? Tonight's sad and horrifying events mark a turning point, not just for Sarah and Jacob, but for Emmerdale itself.